Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natasha if it is your first time here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing an eyeshadow palette review of the new Amrezy Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette. I'm so excited about this guy. The outside packaging is so cute, just like the light baby pink. So I bought this palette 2 days ago when it came out. I paid like $6 for expedited shipping, and it's already here. I got here at like 9:30 this morning. That is so amazing. I pulled out my Jackie Aina palette so we can kind of compare the palettes and compare sizes. This palette retails for $49 and it comes with 16 shades, which is 2 more than usual in the palettes. So let's open this guy up. Cute. Oh, upside down. Cute! It is so sparkly, so glittery. It has the Amrezy across the front in gold glitter. I will say though that there is already glitter, like, I don't know if you can tell, but there's already glitter like all over my fingers and kind of just like it's falling off of this. So first impressions with the packaging, I think that it's beautiful, but I don't like that I'm getting glitter all over my hands and my desk from touching it, because if I'm wanting to do like a matte look, and you know, glitter is one of those things that it's like it's fun. But if you're not a glitter person, you don't want glitter everywhere. And this is kind of already getting glitter everywhere. So let's do a size comparison here between the two palettes. So the Amrezy palette and then the Jackie Aina palette. You can tell that this one is noticeably bigger. I would say they're probably... This one seems like it is a little bit thicker too. So this one is longer and a little bit thinner, and it has 2 more shades in it. So let's go ahead and open her up. Let me get this plastic out of here. Alright, are you ready? Oh, there goes the brush. Wow, so pretty. So there is 14 shades in here. Editing Natasha here. So for some reason in this video, I keep saying that there is 14 shades in the palette. There's actually 16 shades in the palette. And I'm pretty sure I say like 5 times that there's 14 shades. There's not. There is 16 shades. 16. There is 7 mattes, 2 glitters, and 5 shimmery kind of metallic-y shades. So pretty. I'm so excited to jump into this. This shade, Leo, that blue shade, and the shade Reezy, that hot pink shade, just calling my name. So what I think I'm going to do here is kind of similar of what I did to the Jackie Aina palette. I'm going to do one look on this eye and one look on this eye. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same kind of crease base to the eyes, and then I'll probably do a blue across the lid, a pink across the lid, and then maybe I'll use that matte pink shade to buff out the underneath, the lower lash line. I'm really excited about this. If you don't know who Amrezy is, she is an influencer mainly on Instagram and Twitter. I think that she has recently started branching out into YouTube and put out a few YouTube videos, but mainly I would say that she is really focused on Instagram and Twitter. She does so many different fashion posts. She is gorgeous. She's a New Yorker. She's probably like the world's biggest Nicki Minaj stan. I was really excited about this palette because her looks are always so flawless, so beautiful, so bronzy, so cute. And that's that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. It did come with this little brush here. If I'm going to be honest, I literally never use these brushes ever. I think it's cute that it comes with it and it's nice, but I don't know. I just like never use them. So let's just dive in. My eyes are already primed. My skin is already done. Let's jump into it. So what I'm going to start out with here is I'm going to take a Morphe M433. I'm going to start by dipping into the shade OG right here, which is like a nice neutral, a little bit more warm, beautiful kind of light tan crease shade. It is very similar to the shade next to it in Lil Loca, but I feel like that shade has a little bit more orange to it. It's a little bit deeper. So I'm going to start out with the shade OG, and then I'll probably go over into the shade Lil Loca. Ooh, ready for this? Yeah. Okay. And just start building up the crease. Anastasia recently has released a million palettes. Like this is, I think this is the first palette that has been released in 2020, but even within the last 2 months of 2019, I'm pretty sure they released like 6 different palettes, which is insane. I haven't bought an Anastasia palette since I bought the Jackie Aina palette, and then this one just came out and I had to get it because, well, the colors spoke to me. I love Amrezy. I follow her online. Like, I just had to get it. I had to show my support, and I think the colors are gorgeous. So usually when I use Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows, I don't have much issue with them. I never bought the Subculture palette, which is the palette that I found the most people had issue with, just like the blending and the pigmentation and it being kind of patchy. I never bought that palette. So I have never personally ran into any issues with Anastasia shadows. So for this, it's really me just playing around with the colors. I don't think that the quality is going to be off. I think that they're going to be just as good as normal. But I wanted to do just kind of like a quick little eye look using this palette. So far, this shade is blending out really beautiful. It's actually pulling a little bit darker on my eye than it is in the pan, I will say. It is showing up a little bit orangier, which is fine. I will say it is noticeably going on a lot darker than I thought it would just based on the pan color, and I haven't dipped into it that much. It could be because I am a little bit fair of a skin tone, but based on what it looked like in the pan, I didn't expect it to go on this dark. So I'm not adding any new product to my brush. I'm just going in and buffing that out just to make sure that it looks nice and seamless. I'm actually going to go in with a clean brush to try to clean that up a little bit and kind of buff out the edges.
You say you're special, one of a kind, one of the better.
Then I'm going to take a smaller Morphe brush. This is the Morphe M456. It's very similar to this M433 brush. It is basically just the miniature version of it. And I'm going to go right into the shade Lil Loca and just get a little bit on there. And just start deepening up the crease a little bit. Putting that shade a little bit lower.
Better boys, I'm on your level. That's what you say, but all I hear is noise. I don't have time for trying my luck. I've been too hurt before. You're not the.
This shade, once I'm blending it out, I've noticed is very similar in tone to the shade OG, which I could tell in the pan. But as I'm blending it out, it's almost just kind of morphing into the same color, I would say.
Just give it up. I think I've had enough. I'm too busy loving my friends. I ain't got no love to spare for you. I'ma be that girl to the end. It don't really matter what you do. Guess I have to tell you again. Cause you haven't got the news. Boy, you really need to understand that I don't wanna be your girlfriend. No, I don't wanna be your girlfriend. All I want is time with my girlfriend's girlfriend. So I don't wanna be your girlfriend.
Okay, now that I pretty much have the crease right where I want it, I'm going to go in with a lid shade before I deepen it up a little bit more. And when I look at this palette, I am extremely drawn to this blue shade up here in Leo, and then this Reezy kind of hot pink metallic-y shade over here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do one eye with Reezy, one eye with Leo. But which one? I think I'm going to go in with this one and do the shade Leo. So I'm just going to take my finger right into it. Feels really soft. It's a little bit crumbly there, if you can't tell. And then I'm just going to take that right across the lid. I'm going to grab my little hand mirror because I need to get in closer.
You want me, boy, I can tell.
Wow, that is extremely pigmented. This is like a summer ocean pool blue. This is a very summery blue to me. It is very bright. It's very, it just makes me think of like a swimming pool or like an ocean, you know? I am getting a little bit of fallout. So I'm going to get that put on there for the most part how I want it. And then I'm going to go in with a flat brush. Take a little bit on the brush. This is a extremely soft shadow. I don't know if I'm struggling. This shadow is extremely soft. I don't know if you can tell from the pan, but it is really soft and is getting, I don't want to say crumbly, but it is like a little crumbly. So I'm going to spritz it on the brush. Try to give it a little bit more stick. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to slightly kind of cut out the shape I want for this blue.
Deep under my spell.
And I am going to fade it out so it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with that small little M456 brush. I'm not going to add any product on the brush to start out with, just what's on there. And I'm going to lightly, very lightly, go in and start just slowly kind of buffing out the edges.
Sorry, not sorry.
Very slowly. I wanted to kind of gradiently just fade into that crease we got. And we'll worry about the fallout later. So as you can see, it's just like starting to softly kind of make the edges of that softer and kind of blend out a little bit more. And if you feel like you're losing too much pigment, which I don't feel like is happening quite yet, you just go back in and you re-add a little bit of that blue. But as of now, I'm just softly blending it out. And I'm not doing so much of like circles or windshield wipers. It's more just kind of like pressing, patting, very soft, very soft. We want to just kind of softly blow out this blue. Wow, this blue is insane. This blue is like, is making me miss summer even more than I already do every single day. Wow, this blue is beautiful. So let me go in and add the pink to the other eye, and then we will do some more blending. Then we'll deepen it up a little bit more. But I kind of like to work in sections just so I can kind of see the overall, you know. So let's go right in with my finger. So let me kind of show you. So this is kind of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that blue shade being kind of crumbly. You can see that it's kind of like all over the place here. It's kind of just kind of fallen and kind of crumbled. Let me go in with the pink shade and see if it's similar, or see just because that blue was so vibrant that maybe the shadow had to be softer. Yeah, this guy I'm running into kind of the same issue. I don't know if it's because they are so soft and so pigmented that they have a little bit more of like a looser texture to them or what, but let's just see how this one is. Damn. Holy moly, that is so pink. That is like the perfect hot pink. It is so vibrant. OMG. Wow. I kind of low-key look like a gender reveal right now, but wow, those colors are so vibrant, so pigmented. I wonder if because they are softer, that has something to do with the high pigmentation and the high color payoff, if them being like a softer shadow, a little bit more crumbly is like the only word I can think of, if that is like that. So I'm going to do the same thing where I take just like a flat shader brush and I'm going to give it a little spritz and then go in and start shaping that up a little bit better.
That I'm no help, 'cause I'm full of myself.
I will say this pink shade is looking a little chunky on the eye. I'll zoom you guys in after I do a little bit more blending, but I do feel like it is just a little kind of chunky on the eye. It is like not layering very well. It's kind of, you know, chunking up in a few spots. So let me just go in and blend out with that small little brush on this one too, just trying to give it that gradient look.
Why don't you worry? You'll find some.
And then just the same kind of patting, pulling, pressing motion. I find that that works best for when you're trying to blend out a really bright lid shade into the rest of the lid. It gives it that really kind of like smoky, blown out look. And also it helps avoid a little bit more fallout as well. Okay, so this is what we got going right now. I literally look like a gender reveal. This hot pink and hot blue. I was not expecting these colors to have such crazy payoff in the pigment. I thought that they were going to be pretty vibrant based on what they look in the palette, but they are so soft. I mean, you can tell I didn't really dig in too hard. They're just so soft that it kind of just is like almost like a super shock shadow in a way. They almost are more like creamy feeling, but I think that is what's causing them to kind of have more of that fallout and more of that chunky texture to it. So let's look at what we got. Let's look a little close up here. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can kind of see a little bit more of that chunky texture that I'm talking about. So I don't know if you can see, but right here, mainly on the inner corner section of the eye, it is a little bit more chunky, but overall, I think the color payoff is insane. I'm not done blending yet, so don't judge me, but so far, I think the color payoff is amazing. It just has like a little bit too soft of a texture, I think, because it is giving me some fallout and some weird chunkiness on the lid. This is the point too that if you were wanting to deepen it up, I would dip in and deepen up the crease a little bit more, but I'm kind of liking how it's looking right now where it's just fading into that like orange. I will say that the pink side is blending out and fading out a little bit better than the blue side. That could be just because a pink shade is easier to formulate, it's easier to work with than a blue shade is, but I also think that the blue shade is having way more fallout than the pink shade is, but nonetheless still pretty. Let me clean up this fallout under my eye.
Someone who wants you back, but that is not me.
So next I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a brow bone highlight. I'm going to use the shade up here in Wasted, which appears to be a matte, but it is almost more of like a satiny white rosy pink shade, and I'm just going to go in lightly with that and highlight the brow bone. Gonna help blend out the edges a little bit with that as well.
So give it up, haven't you had enough?
Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with the under eye, and I think I'm gonna go in with this shade right here in Simsa. I believe she said that that was her mother's name. It's a really beautifully purpley maroon color, and I'm going to use that first to kind of blend out the lower lash line, and then I will most likely go into the shades Lil Loca and OG. So I'm just going to go in with a pencil brush and then start dragging that along my lower lash line.
Too busy loving my friends.
Pretty pigmented right off the bat. So once I got that placed, I will go in with the Morphe M456 brush and just dip into the shades OG and Lil Loca and start buffing that out.
No love to spare for you. I'ma be that girl to the end. It don't really matter what you do.
Cute, that's pretty. It's like a nice pinky lower lash line. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. The closer I get under this eye with the blue, the more fallout I see, which is pretty frustrating, but if you do your eyeshadow before your base, you can clean that up pretty easy. I was just wanting to get my base out of the way, get into the eye look, so I went ahead and did that first.
Guess I have to tell you again, cause you haven't got the news, or you really need to understand that I don't wanna be your...
Okay, so this is what we got here. Cute. I'm feeling a little crazy looking right now. I'm gonna hop off camera, put some mascara on, put a lip on, and then when I come back, I'll give you kind of my full overview about how I feel about the palette, just based on first impressions. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and threw on some mascara and a lip. So I'm going to show you guys the lip I was using real quick. This is the IT Cosmetics Pillow Cream Lipstick in the shade Vision. First of all, I hate the packaging. I mean, I get it. It looks like a quilt. That's like the whole thing. But it is a beautiful peachy nude cream lipstick. I've been really enjoying it. So let's go into the palette. So I have a few more complaints about this palette than I thought I would have. So first thing is, I think the packaging is beautiful, but I don't like that so much glitter is coming off of it. Like literally, my hand is covered in glitter. Like just little flecks of glitter are kind of falling all over the place, and I don't love that. I wish it had like a smoother overlay to it, a kind of glossier finish, and then the glitter just kind of shone through that, because it is so cute, so pretty, so like Barbie. But I don't like all of the glitter that's kind of getting all over my hands and all over my desk. And I feel like if I were to like pack this with makeup, like the glitter would just get all over everything. So, meh. So it comes with 14 shades, which is 2 more than all of the usual Anastasia palettes. It is $49 versus $45, which really isn't that bad. I think it is a beautiful color story, but I have a few complaints. The 2 shades right here in New Yorker and OG, I think that they are almost like too similar. Once I started blending them out, I didn't notice a difference between the two shades at all. When I look at them in a pan, I can clearly see that one of them is deeper than the other, but once I started blending them out, they looked pretty much exactly the same to me, so I wish that there would have been a different shade in there, maybe a lighter yellow or even like a deeper, darker kind of orangey shade. That would have been really nice, but they still blend out beautiful. They're still really nice mattes. As for the metallic-y shades that I used, I think the color payoff is obviously insane. It is beautiful, but I'm gonna have to read more into the formula because they are so soft and they do have so much fallout and like a little bit of texture to them that I think that has to do with the fact that they are so highly pigmented, that it is going to be a little bit softer in formulation. So I don't love that, but now that I use it the first time, I can kind of know a little bit more how to work with it, what to do with it. Definitely do my eyes first before I do my base to avoid some of that fallout. But nevertheless, I do think this is a beautiful palette. I'm really excited to get into the bronze shade. The shade Georgina right here is really beautiful. The shade up here in Dragon is beautiful. I probably won't use the pressed glitters. That is just 100% a preference thing though. You guys have heard me say it before. I don't really like using that much glitter on my face because my eyes are really sensitive. So if any glitter falls into them, it kind of just ruins my day. But overall, I do really like this palette. I do think it's worth the money. I'm going to be honest, I haven't really been interested in any of the Anastasia palettes that have come out recently because I feel like they have just been pumping them out. Just bam, 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 every week there's another palette and it's kind of overwhelming, especially since like, it's just overwhelming. Like it's too much from one brand of eyeshadow palettes. I can only use so many eyeshadow palettes. So the main reason I bought this was because I am such a huge Amrezy fan. So for that, if you are a big Amrezy fan, if you're a big Anastasia Beverly Hills fan, I think this palette is great. It is beautiful. It has the same quality as previous Anastasia collab palettes that I've used. I just have those few little things about it that I don't love, such as the glittery packaging and kind of how soft those textures of those shadows are. But I think it has to do something with the pigmentation. Overall, I am happy with the look I came up with, even though I look like a gender reveal party. Like this is the eyeshadow look to wear to a gender reveal party. Like it really is. But that's pretty much it. I want to keep this video kind of short and sweet. I didn't want it to drag on too long, which is why I chose to do my base beforehand. Like I said, I pretty much know the quality of the Anastasia shadows. This was more for me to just kind of play around with the colors. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you still really interested in Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes? Do you feel like they're just like pumping out way too much? They're doing too many collabs? Like, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this palette. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!